That is darn near perfect. You can see here, all of this is nice and snug. This is snug. If you're really particular like me, and you're looking for floor mats that don't have logos, that will hold up to your everyday use and wear and tear in your new Model Y, this is my all new Juniper. I searched high and low. I went through so many reviews and different types of floor mat brands and things that were promoted, that this set of floor mats was probably the least promoted of all of them. I'm gonna tell you why I chose these over all those others. I was actually gonna go down the road of buying the OEM Tesla floor mat. So it is super clean. It has a little Tesla logo on the side of it, very minimalist. However, it's $240 for OEM for just the front passenger and driver side and the second row floor mat area. So you don't get a whole lot for $240. So I went with the least reviewed floor mats out of there. And I bought the super liners and it came in a 9-piece set. So it has all the coverage, which I'll talk about in a second, and minimalist, and they came just fine. You get a great value, and I'll talk about the value in a little bit. Subscribe for more videos about our new Tesla and what I'm doing to keep it clean. And I'm gonna start with the driver's side front floor mat and kind of give you a quick review of what I think about the material. Number one, take a look. I love that there's not one logo anywhere on this mat. I want super clean, super simple. Sure, the Tesla one, OEM one, does have a Tesla logo over here. However, which would be kind of okay with me because it is an OEM product. And the Tesla one also has either that metal or fake metal applique here for the dead pedal. However, for the value that I got for all 9 pieces, I'm willing to sacrifice a logo and some applique here. However, the super clean look really works for me. It doesn't smell like anything right now. And I'm like putting my nose right up against it, giving a good whiff. It doesn't smell, which I think is key. Looks like it has a nice bit of coverage. It has these lines here to hold some moisture. And really, I'm not really worried about like huge spills because we don't really make big messes in the car. It's just enough for like the snow and sleet that you're tracking from your shoes. On the back side, there is no buttons, not that are already in the car at least, to secure the mat. It does have these little indents from the valleys on the front of the mat, and then little nubs here, if you can see here, to help grip it. And I'm gonna put this in underneath the pedal, slide it down. As I'm molding these in, so let me bring you a little closer. As I was pushing this down and in, I really had to push to get these parts down. You can see here, it's not exactly perfect in this corner here with this little tab. Over here, it's actually quite good, except for right here is not hugging, which is okay. It's nice and snug right here by the accelerator. You can see here, I'm really happy with this. This right here is, I would say that's pretty darn near perfect. And the height of the walls is what? 2.5 to 3 inches here. That's plenty. And back here by the seat or underneath the seat, it's not as tall. But again, we're not looking to hold a quart of water, right? Right now, I'm happy. This is not gonna shift. You want that super clean look like I do, the way your Tesla is, super, super clean and simple. I think these are the ones you're gonna wanna go for. Now this one did come folded in half. And what's really nice to see, again, like if you're particular like me, there's no crease here. And also notice what I noticed on other brands that have to fold theirs as well for shipping purposes. They put a little notch right here in the middle, or down here also in the middle, like a little V cutout, which is for shipping purposes because they have to fold it. Now luckily, and I'm really happy, these super liners do not. Let's put this in So I have it pointed downwards, and I'm just gonna slip it forward. This fitment along the carpeting is quite good. Up into this corner right here. And what I really want to show you, what I was talking about, is this carpeting is a tad wavy, and you can actually see how the mat conformed to the slight waviness, which is great. This Superliner kit comes with all the parts in the cargo area. We're going to pull the trunk one out. It seems like parts or the floor mats or the covers or the liners don't get nearly as much abuse. They are, for whatever reason, a little thinner, a little more flexible than those. Those are very much probably 30% thicker. Let's put this into the lower trunk area. This side of this liner is a little bit long or wider than up here. So the slightly shorter side faces the front of the car. It fits great. It looks good. Again, no logos. Huge for me. Now, the other part of the kit, of the 9-piece kit by Superliner, is that little bit of area behind the main lower trunk area. Now, this piece, I feel, is even probably the thinnest of them all. And we're just gonna drop that in. It's not flat. I mean, it's okay. I think once you put stuff in here, it'll flatten itself out. This is the trunk area you're gonna see the least. Let's put in the cargo line. You have this crease here, because this is folded into fourths. You have a crease here and a slight ever so crease over here. They definitely had to put an indent on this side, right here, and on the other side, so it would fold. I think the fitment is quite good. Now right here, you can see if I press down, it's kind of a little bit of a hump. That, I think that's from the memory of being packaged for however long it has been. These corners here on the left and the right that have like a little wing on it fit quite nicely. This here has a crease because clearly you need to be able to do this, right? Which is nice. You don't have to remove the mat, okay? However, I guess in its life in the shipping box, in the warehouse, wherever it's living, you can see right here, it's ever so like, I guess kind of weakened. See how it's not black, it's more of a whitey gray color here, especially in this spot where it's been folded over into quarters. That is definitely a weak spot. I don't think it's the end of the world. I'm not gonna bother with it if the fitment's quite good. The back seats come in 3 pieces. Left, right, middle. Now these, I'll try to zoom in, have a Velcro adhered all the way around the edge of the piece and also down the middle for the centerpiece. Same goes for the left and right. They are perimetered with Velcro. So just look at the holes where the tether top anchors go, and that's going to help you figure out which piece goes where. Here is part of the car that overlaps the back seats. So there's kind of like a seal here. What you're gonna have to do is pull this fabric back. It's just really thick felt. Pull back so you can get the back seat cargo liner right here. Here is that piece of strip felt I told you about. Here is the correct liner based on the tether top or tether anchors. I'm gonna line the top up first around the curvature, and you kind of position it as you go along, right? That's not too bad. And we're gonna lift this up and get this underneath, and there you go. That looks pretty good. So let's do the middle one next. The middle one does have the cutouts for the tether and for a latch to pull down the center row. Roll it down. I'm using the edge that's closest to the one I already put down as a guide down, and now we're gonna pull the flap up to get it all the way at the bottom. There we go. You can see that. I'm just gonna roll this down so we can position it. We are at the bottom. I'm gonna lift up that big piece of felt gusset to get that down. Overall, I'm happy with this. Again, look, no logos, no logos. The passenger side mat looks exactly the same. This little tab here has the same height in the sidewalls, no logos. Take a look at that. That's how the Superliner with no logo fits in the Model Y Juniper. Look at this. Compared to the driver's side, that is darn near perfect. You can see here, all of this is nice and snug. This is snug, plenty of coverage here. So now let's go over into the frunk. So let's go get that last piece right here, and we're just gonna drop it in because, well, it came with the kit. Now the longest side appears to be towards the windshield. Yep, that's it. If you are going to be using the Frunk as a cooler because you want the drain plug, clearly you gotta take this guy out. Let's go back into my office. Okay, we're back in the warmth of my office. So just a quick recap. I found that the Superliner set of 9 pieces for the Model Y Juniper was actually really, really excellent. And just so you know, over the past 24, 48 hours, we were in the car, already installed like I showed you earlier, and things started to look a little bit better. I think the mat started to relax a little bit more in the warmth of the car, and I'll show you on a follow-up video or some kind of short, so be sure to subscribe to see the final fitment after a couple days. In general, be sure to check out the description below. That will have the link for these floor mats. They're always discounted in some way, and then when you use my referral link, it will help out my channel grow, and I really appreciate your support. So in general, if you really want a set of floor mats that don't have labeling like I do, because I don't think they ever really look that great, and the Superliners mimic the Tesla overall aesthetic much better than all the others. So that's all I have for now. Be sure to subscribe, like, comment below. I'd love to know what you're using in your Model Y or any Tesla for that matter in terms of floor mats and other accessories. And I will see you on the next video.